session of this morning still. Yes. You know, I have to say, I know it's long days for us as well, but being here at 9 o'clock in the morning, a big round of applause that was here at 9 o'clock in the morning. And everybody needs to be here at 9 because we need to support each other. We need to be here for each other because it's only these 7 days, so we have to show support for all the speakers. So if you're here a little bit later, come early in the morning tomorrow. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
Got it.
I'll be here, promise.
So with that, we'll start our next session. Reimagining Finance and Innovation. Would you like to bring the first speaker on board?
Absolutely. We'd like to invite our first speaker for this panel. I invite Susie Dent. Susie, are you in the house? Absolutely.
I see the crowd.
Coming from the land down under, Susie is Mrs. Earth Australia. Woo! Inspiring other women to not pay attention to that number, which is your age.
Next,
And to celebrate that number. Woo! If we could invite Anuja Bhargava.
Now, she's the Director of India Financial Planning and Analysis. A big round of applause for Anuja. Do I see her? Not.
Yes.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Young and dynamic. Casey Hugh Dobro, author at TEDx speaker and a video blogger from the USA. Welcome, Casey. Usha Santana, business owner of Archway Associates from India. A big round of applause.
If we could invite our speaker from Egypt, Shireen Abdelbaki. There she is. A business consultant, a mentor, and the founder with 20 years of business experience. Currently focusing on strategic management. It's an honor to have you and to welcome you on this panel.
Next, I would like to invite my very, very favorite, Lara Shah. She's a celebrity astrologer and a herbalist from India, Mumbai. A big round of applause for Lara Shah. Let's hear for the entire panel, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon. A big round of applause.
It may not seem like it, but we're unraveling finance. With these beautiful ladies, we're reimagining finance through innovation because we know, as women entrepreneurs, that's one thing we need to really bring the spotlight into. It's an area we need to work on. So we're here to learn from this beautiful panel, and we invite our very first speaker, Susie Dent.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me. I had a whole speech worked out, and 2 days ago I went to an Indian temple, and I've been touched by Mother India, and I saw this beautiful gold statue with blue eyes, and I asked with great humility for guidance and for healing. My story is one of learning how to love myself, and I think loving my husband too much. You see, I changed my life 2 years ago at the ripe young age of 55, and changed my entire life from being a lifelong tomboy to turning into an international beauty queen. I did this, thank you. The funny thing was, Listening to one of the ladies yesterday who was talking about wearing a hijab, I realised that what I had done for 30 years was to also do the same thing. I dressed down as a tomboy my entire life, covered my body and hid from myself, and didn't really find my really true authentic self for 30 years. My husband has been suffering with depression and anger management and stress and anxiety for, it's 8 years now, and I've got to say it's exhausting. It's exhausting loving someone so much and trying to help them so much. So I realised after I prayed that I needed to find my true self, and I needed to really tap into who I was, and I needed to change me. I couldn't change him because it didn't matter what I said to him. Nothing really mattered because he was stuck in himself, and we all need to change ourselves. It's up to us. It's our responsibility. So I put it out to life, and God or life came back to me with the strangest and most out of left field journey ever, which is to become a beauty queen. And after I picked myself up off the floor laughing, because not only was I 55, I never wore dresses, I realised that I'd been sent a message and that this was a journey that I had to be on. So I said yes to this extraordinary opportunity and took the sliding door to the left. And in doing so, joining the pageant system, I got to raise awareness for a charity, which was Souls for Souls, who collected new and used shoes from all over, to give to people all over the world. So putting on my very own stretch skirt, I went to these business people and I said to them, okay, you guys, you sponsor men who run fast, hit fast and drive fast. How about a middle-aged beauty queen collecting shoes for charity? And so they said yes. So being innovative with finance, I managed to get sponsored by this amazing company and started this whole big awareness campaign across the whole of Australia. They provided me with PR, television, magazines. I promoted the company, I promoted the charity. It was an amazing, amazing journey. And each time I went on air, I got to stretch myself and get out of my psychological fear of frocks. And I like to say I healed myself one frock at a time. So I went down to Victoria, down in southern Australia. I had to learn how to wear high heel shoes and feel comfortable wearing dresses. I won the first Mrs. Earth Australia at the age of 55, competing against women, half of whom I could have given birth to, proving that age is just a number. It's what you do with it that counts. And that if you want to do something in life, you hold it in your head and your heart, and you can do whatever you want to do in life and be whoever you want to be. Thank you so much. A full runway. Now I can walk in shoes. Okay.
We're going to do it slowly. Can we get some music for Susie? We have to flaunt it, right?
Not strict music. So I had to learn to walk in high heel shoes.
A quick round of applause for Susie. Susie Dad, all the way from Australia. Thank you, Susie. Thank you for being with us this morning and inspiring us. I would now like to invite Anuja Bhargava to come up on stage. She is the Director, India Financial Planning and Analysis. Welcome. A big round of applause for Anuja.
Well, I'm a chartered accountant, and speaking just after the beauty queen, I know it could be really drag. And in any case, the chartered accountant's impression with the specs on has a very boring attitude. But Anne's going to make it even more boring after the beauty queen. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about how we could reimagine finance. And I'll take you to the days when I was actually studying for my chartered accountancy. During those small study breaks, I used to visualize, I used to daydream that when I do my chartered accountancy, I'm going to be actually changing the way the business is run. I'm actually going to be somebody who's going to be in the center of decision making. So say, for instance, if you need a new floor in the building, then whom do you go to? You go to finance. I did qualify my chartered accountancy, joined our first job, but actually, you know what? The reality hit me. The reality hit me really hard. People only asked me questions like, honey, how do I save my tax? Honey, from where do I get my tax? And that's it. As in working capital tax were the only few things which was answering in my initial days. And this zeal which I had, luckily and unluckily, I was not the only one who was having this zeal to be like in the center of everything when the decisions are being done. And this word innovation, which could be actually led by saying that futuristic technology. Actually, I think innovation is not only technology, but your futuristic thought process, which you could do. With so many beautiful women here, like for instance, Zara. I don't know how many of you know Zara's and how they became successful and how they became profitable was that they don't do all their production of their dresses before the season starts. Only 15% of their dresses are actually made before the season starts, and 85% of the dresses are made as and when people like Susie are asking them to make new dresses. This got them profitable without use of technology, but with innovative thought processes. And that's what I thought finance should be doing, actually, and that's what a lot of finance people were thinking at the same time. With the help of technology, things like robotic process automation, I don't know how many of you heard about it, but the reconciliations, etc., which we typically thought chartered accountants are going to be doing, actually a robot was doing. My team, which is actually currently writing commentary saying why expenses have gone up and gone down and so on, actually something called a natural language generator are doing. So what is going to be for the work for people like you and me? Obviously, all of us cannot be like Susie, but yes, it's given us a new place where we could be actually in the center of it, making decisions, helping business to actually say what product to launch, what not to launch, when to launch, which design should we get and when, because obviously which design is something which the designer is going to say, but when in terms of timing, predictive analytics telling you actually, you know what, your people could be leaving because of XYZ reason. Predictive redemptions, that your stock market could go down or could go up by means of XYZ factors, and that's the time to invest or not to invest, actually. This is how I think finance is being reimagined by a lot of people and still needs to be reimagined, but we're definitely there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anuja, for taking us on that very interesting journey. I was expecting a very different perspective, but coming from a chartered accountant and very technical experience of over 20 years, thank you for presenting that refreshing perspective. Thank you. It's a great learning. It's a pleasure to invite Cassie Hudibro. Welcoming Cassie, coming from the USA, an author, a TEDx speaker, and a video blogger. Woman of many talents.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. 2 years ago, I was laid off from my job in corporate America. Now, this was absolutely a blessing, and I know it happens. And for my generation, we've heard that it happens, so it wasn't too much of a surprise, and I took it as a blessing. And I can't tell you that I am the type of person who rejects the system. In fact, corporate America gave me a lot. It gave me my job so that I could have my apartment, healthcare, and PTO, which in the United States stands for paid time off. I was able to vacation and go wherever I wanted for at least 2 to 3 weeks out of the year, and I was always very thankful to that. So I'm not the type of person who rejects that. However, I did think when it was ending, what exactly am I going to do now? And I thought, well, I am a trained instructional designer. And what that means in the United States is that I am able to create training materials and curriculums for a corporation. And so I thought, I can get another job. Of course, I'm trained, so that was the hope. And I thought, but is that really, this was truly a choice point. Is that really where I should go? So I thought, maybe I'll talk to my heart. What do we want to do? And I began a journey of being an author, a TEDx speaker, and a video blogger. And I spoke about that yesterday, but I want to tell you about the finance journey of this, because it turns out that, for me at least, when I wanted to do what was calling my heart, I had to self-fund. And that meant that my savings was dwindling, because there was no more corporate America to fund me or my 401k, which is a retirement plan in the United States. And I thought, oh man, so now I have to fund myself. How do I do this? And I thought, that's it. I'm going to be a full-time speaker and people are going to pay me for this. And it turns out that to be a paid speaker, you have to practice and you have to do quite a few free speeches before you can really get your name up and out there. And that's how it works, at least where I live in Colorado in the United States. And so money wasn't coming in as quickly, and I was beginning to really hear my father, who happens to be an accountant, in my head. And he always said, you know, so much money in your savings at all times. And that money was just beginning to go under that line, and I was stressing out. So I thought, look, I can't quite burn that bridge. Instructional design is what fed me and funded my fun for many years. And so I thought, you know, there's got to be a balance and a way to do this. Self-funding with my savings is only going to work somehow for a little while, but I really have to still make money. So I thought, there's got to be an even split. I can't just burn the bridge and say, Heart, let's do this, because I know there's people out there who do this, and I really envy that. But for me, there was a little bit of fear. So I actually had to not burn that bridge so quickly and say, I have to balance my career with my passion and make sure I do both so that I can really start funding myself still while doing this. So I thought, maybe like a 30-70 split. I really was just like channeling my father. How much, Dad? 50-50, 40-60, what should I do? So it turned out that I decided to do instructional design as contract to finance myself. And whenever I could speak, and especially for free, at breakfast clubs, at lunch clubs, and at evening events, I would do it. I would do it to get myself out there. I started video blogging, my book was out, and I would talk about it. But in between, I was most certainly, and still am, an instructional designer who gets paid by sometimes clients of corporate America as well. So again, corporate America has not left my life, and it's still, in a way, making sure that I can fund my dreams. So what I want to tell you is that for me, it was a balance of things. Because money is important for me to be able to move forward with the things I want to do. And then I thought, no one's funding my 401k, my retirement plan. That's what we call it in the United States. So I found this beautiful group of 12 women who were going through about the same thing, and we all decided we need to figure out how to not just make money and take a paycheck, but how do we make it grow? So we decided to stock Warren Buffett. And I don't know if you know who Warren Buffett is, but he's one of the richest men in the world, and he just happens to be from the United States. So we follow him quarterly, we read his output, and we really try and replicate how he trades. And that's what we've been doing, really. And so in order, thank you, thank you. In order for us to absolutely receive that paycheck from clients, do what we love in between until it grows, and really feel comfortable, we had to really reimagine how money was going to come in. Not just to fund the things that we were doing before, but how are we making it grow? And that's when we started really investing in our education of the stock market of the United States. And that's what we've been doing. So I invite you to really, with the group of women that you know, we were not financial gurus. We simply followed a gentleman's structure of how he has become rich in this lifetime. Because yes, I want to get funded by clients, but I also want to make that money grow, because money is what really makes my dreams go forward without me stressing about how am I going to fund my life as well. So I appreciate the time, and I thank you, and I invite you to really connect with a group of women that have your same dreams and renovate and reinvent your financial future. Thank you.
Casey, I must say, you're a dynamic woman. Just in your energy, in your hands, you could tell. I was just telling Mansi, she should be like with a handheld mic in the middle and talking. Thank you for that beautiful energy, and thank you for really just telling us even like a small, like a secret. I mean, we think that, okay, if we read a book, maybe it'll happen, but you've actually proven it. So thank you. A big round of applause for Casey. Next, I would like to invite Usha Santana to come up on stage. She's a business owner running 3 companies based in Chennai. A warm welcome for Usha.
Good morning to all of you present here. I consider this a great honor to be here and wholeheartedly would like to thank Dr. Harbi for conferring me with this honor. And today it's a big day for me. The reason you will realize once I share my story. I am part of all Tamil Nadu Chapter 2 and I was introduced to this forum by Mekalai, who is my childhood friend, and if not for her, I would not be standing here too. I would like to thank her too. Basically, I'm born and brought up in Chennai, middle class, very conservative, orthodox Brahmin family, and not a very business background or an education background. And I did my schooling, and my first year graduation, I just got married. My parents got me married when I was 17 years. And by the age of 23, I was mother of 2 kids. I have a daughter and a son. And by 29, I was pushed out of the house. So I was in streets with my 2 kids. So this topic unknowingly has come to me, like reimagining finance with innovation had been part and parcel of my life from the day one. It has been an integral part. So I had to plan what am I to do the next hour because I was not qualified for any job. I don't know what will I do, but I know only thing is that I need to feed my children and take care of all the expenses. I'm just sharing my experiences here, my life experience, which has taught me to how be creative in financial, managing finance at home. I think every woman here will start that innovation of financial management from home, I think. And I am not qualified to talk about any technical, like Anuja, any chartered accountant, but I'm just sharing my experiences. So what I did the day one was started off with searching for a job, but wherever I went I could not because I don't have any degree or anything and no exposure since I got married at 17 years. So I just got into a textile industry in a lower level as an helper. That's how I started my career. But one thing was burning within me was I need to provide a good lifestyle for my children, and my parents were my moral support, so I need to feed all of them. So I just started and I was looking for opportunities everywhere and creating. So what I did is I just prioritized my expenses. What I used to do is, okay, this week what are the expenses that has to be done? And then normally they say in our house, you know your fixed income. So you base your expenses based on your income. Don't stretch yourself, don't go big, then you'll become you'll have a big debt and you'll not be able to come. That's how we are all brought up. But my thing, what I started doing was like, I just figured out the expenses. I categorized, I prioritized. And I arrived at a figure which is to be earned in the next 1 week, in the next 10 days, by this month end. So I categorized it and started working on whatever the jobs I started doing. And then I got into a multi-level marketing also where I need to sell products, but I didn't have money to buy any of the products. So what I used to do is I used to meet humpty number of clients, take the orders, book them in advance, take some advance, and then just target one by one customer, deliver it at different stages. So buy the goods for them, sell it with them, get the money, and then take the profit home. That's what I had been doing. But one thing was I was very sure that that was not the job for me. I need to look at something bigger for me. So the opportunities started flowing in for me. So slowly I went to a better company. But wherever I went, I never stayed more than 3 months. That was the situation there. Either the company will not be able to pay me or the company will shut down. So I need to again replan my finance. So that was the situation that I was in. And slowly when I was just looking for opportunities, got into a better company, and then from walking I just started moving through public transport, and then from there when I went to the next company I started having a 2-wheeler which my friend just gifted me at a very low price. So I just said I'll be able to pay only 200 rupees per month EMI, and that's how I got into it. And then when I went into that stage, then I was looking at people driving a car, a woman can drive, why not I? So what should I do to go to that stage? And then I got into a big company where they asked me that I cannot go by 2-wheeler or by auto. I need to have my own car, and that's how my lifestyle was changed. And when I was there with different bosses, you know the atmosphere there in the bosses. So I used to think, what is wrong in we owning a company? That's when the turning point of my life again happened, that I happened to meet a person with whom I actually went to meet him many years before to give my resume and ask him if he can get me placed somewhere in a good, decent job where I get a permanent salary. But then he came and he offered me, he said, why don't we start a company? Let's become partner. And that's how the birth of Archway Associates, and I'm now the co-founder of that company. We are into interiors and construction in that company and doing well. And so far in the textile industry, so I just continued with the textile industry and started some exports of textiles and took over some SIC unit, and I'd done some financial planning for them. So the basic, what I would like to say is, I would like to frame everything into one quote saying it's a financial intelligence. Financial intelligence is nothing but doing something in a different way to be smart. Okay, and what you do, what I think in the current economical situations, it's not the financial planning, it's not financial projections. It begins from the end of your mind. You just target where you want to be, what is your objective. That should be the indispensable first step of going towards where you want to be. And from there you work on how to be towards there. And so I would like to, my experience is only that I've been thinking something different, which I didn't want to do what everybody else were doing, and that's why my growth has been happening. And I would like to be a part of the 20% people who are owning the 80% wealth, rather than being the 80% people owning the 20% wealth. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Usha, for taking us through your journey from strength to strength. But I also learned from your speech that finance isn't about making money as much as it's about protecting the fruits of our labor. So it's important. I think it's a really intrinsic lesson for us to take away from this panel, and a little bit of it you all have been touching upon. So thank you for that. I'd like to invite Shireen Abdelbaki from Egypt, a wonderful business consultant, mentor, and an amazing strategic advisor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aurora, for the wonderful hospitality and the chance to meet everybody here. As she said, I'm from Egypt, the cradle of civilization, land of the Great Pyramids, the Nile, and a lot of sunshine. So I'd like to share with you that my work over the years has been mostly in advisory roles, whether as a consultant or advisor to a minister or an embassy or at a bank. And now I'm working with startup companies in Egypt. And during this journey, clients have always been searching for partners, funds, new ways of financing. And today with fintech, and as you know, fintech means the technology to deliver financial services and banking. So fintech has made life easier and faster, yet it's also invading our personal life, private life. People are always able to work around the clock. And this increases the daily stress in everybody's life. And as a connector, I always wanted to add the link to people's well-being. And in the sense that mental health, physical health, life satisfaction, and a sense of happiness and purpose. And to try to get to the ability to find within themselves to be more balanced and grounded in order to look to others and connect on a clearer and healthier level. Especially with a recent study by PwC that financial wellness is, financial stress is highly on the rise. And I believe that people's financial wellness is correlated to their physical and mental health. I've recently shifted my career, and now myself, I'm on the other side of the process and even might be seeking funding. Yet I have a more holistic approach and know that the challenges and struggles that people go through and how it all affects people's lives, especially women in startups. And yes, we definitely need more women in venture capital companies. We need to know that the factors of financial well-being are within our personal control. And you may be able, just to realize that you may be able to control the choices that you make, but you don't really have much control over the choices you have. And this feeling of personal finances and having the resources that you need in life and your business and setting and reaching the financial goals that you have is really a major factor in the daily the stress that we face on a daily basis. And it also is related to how satisfied we are with our financial situation. So now what I'm trying to do is trying to help people adjust their attitudes and reactions to situations in general and in particular to their financial situation in regard to their business, and how to help improve their personal well-being in line with while they're seeking their financial well-being. And I've started a new project called Beauty of Life, and I'd like you all to visit Beauty of Life projects on Facebook and Instagram, where you can learn more about this project. And it's to help you reduce the stress that you face on a daily basis. And I'll be happy to speak about any details with you after this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shireen. I just love the fact that you're able to educate and actually start up startups. You know, that is one of the hardest things a woman entrepreneur can do. So thank you so much for being with us all the way from Egypt. A big round of applause for her. With that, I would like to invite our last speaker of this morning session, Lara Shah, if I can have her come up on stage. She's a celebrity astrologer and a herbalist. She is gifted with reading aura, spaces, futuristic events, and past history of clients. A big round of applause for Lara Shah.
Namaste, everybody. Tattvam Asi. This is a Sanskrit sloka. It means creating moment to moment. I'm a misfit here if I don't talk about wealth and money. Our energy attracts money, happiness, love, joy, everything that we do in our life. We are constantly creating energy with our thoughts, our deeds, our actions. Do we know what is energy? Do we know what is our aura? Would you like to know? I'd like you to do a small exercise. You all can stand or sit. I'd love for you all to stand. And I'd love for you to clap for yourself and then rub your palms. Rub your palms slowly. Close your eyes a little bit, focus on yourself, and separate your hands. You will feel a tingling sensation. If you don't feel it, rub it again. Do you feel it? Yeah. This is energy. This is something that we create. Now rub your palms again, harder, slow down, and create a ball. You'll feel you're creating a ball of energy. Are you feeling it? Yeah. Give that energy to yourself with love. Make it pink. Do this every day. It's wonderful. It changes your energy. And if you feel please have a seat. Whenever you feel you're stuck, use your own energy to help yourself and heal your other people around you. When your energy is positive, you create a positive environment in your house, with your children, with your colleagues, in your office, in your space, everywhere. This is what I have been gifted with. I was born with a special gift of seeing things. I would just know things. In 2010, I was taking a workshop with over 2,800 people, and I was supposed to invite the then Chief Minister of India of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi. I brought him on the dais telling everyone, and he wasn't even yet going for elections. I said, he's going to be our future Prime Minister. He looked at me with surprise and he said, what did you just say? And I've said, well, I see things that you don't see. A lot of us do that. We are constantly intuitive. We know what's going to happen. We know what we are thinking. We know what the other person is thinking, but we don't use it for ourselves. We have to use our inner voice, our inner self first before everything. This is what I do all the time because I'm gifted. I didn't believe in astrology. I didn't believe in anything that is called fate, destiny, but here I am as a celebrated artist of astrology, oracle, readings, and energy. I teach healing. I also do workshops. I realized long ago that my voice will be heard if I am on radio and television, and I accepted that only for one reason. There was a small yoga workshop that I attended with children in that workshop at 8 in the morning in a small little government school. And these children were doing prayers to a guru and doing the arti. At 8 in the morning, I would be playing sports. Their parents were forcing them to pray and believe in something that they didn't understand at all. It infuriated me. You don't have to have a guru or a monk whom you believe in and force your children. So that's when I took up the path to talk about what you should believe in, your own self-worth, and what you have to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, you can't help anyone. And your energy will help you do that. As a little girl, I was very sick. And my father was a doctor, so he would continuously make new concoctions. And he would make something for medicine, for my hair, for my skin. And today, all his formulations are out there by my children. His grandchildren they have a beautiful product line. I love your product line, especially your one of your products that's for skin. It's made with beautiful herbs. So I also have a foundation that helps sustainability living for farmers and for women and children in a village so that they don't migrate to the cities and beg or become susceptible to things that happen in the city to poor people. So we create a lot of opportunities for them to work and to know themselves and the gifts that they have within themselves. I didn't know my gift that I could see or I could foretell. It was my granny who nurtured me, held my hand, and told me this is how you look after yourself. And today I think that is what we are all doing, listening to each other, holding each other's hands, trying to see how we can help each other. I applaud all of you who are present here today, especially Harbeen and Vinayji, who have put this wonderful platform together here so that we can all help each other and continue doing that and thinking, changing minds. Be here, tell your story. Maybe it will help you, maybe it will help someone else change their mind and change their lives. Namaste. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Lara. We couldn't have asked for a better closing to this session. Thank you for energizing us through that chi ball. I teach meditation and yoga as well, and that's something we do, and it's so beautiful to redirect that energy to yourself, and it's such a powerful tool that it's all here. It's all in the palm of the hands. Tarun, I invite you to please.
I call upon Dr. Harbeen Arora to present the awards. Susie Dent, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Anuja Bhargava, Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All. Cassie Udobro, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Santanam, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. Shireen Abdel Baki, Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All. Lara Shah, Exceptional Woman of Excellence. All the panelists to join for a group photograph.